There comes a point in life when we must stop waiting for others to hand us the things we deserve and instead stand tall and ask for them with confidence. Too often, we are told to stay quiet, to avoid making demands, to settle for less. But silence is not strength, and settling is not destiny. Strength is in knowing your worth and voicing it. There are 10 things, 10 essential asks, that no one should shy away from. These are not gifts, not favors, but the foundation of a life lived with dignity and purpose. Ask for respect, because without it, no relationship can stand. Ask for honesty, because falsehoods are poison disguised as kindness. Ask for loyalty, because without trust, bonds crumble. Ask for time, because love and care are proven through presence, not promises. Ask for effort, because what is valuable should never be treated with carelessness. Ask for space when you need it, because self-growth is not selfish, it is necessary. Ask for understanding, because to be heard without judgment is the greatest comfort. Ask for equality, because anything less diminishes your humanity. Ask for consistency, because words mean little without actions that follow. And above all, ask for love in its truest form, because without love, all the other asks lose their weight. Do not shrink from these demands. Do not fear being called too much or too demanding. The truth is, those who cannot give these 10 things were never meant to walk beside you. Life is too short to beg for crumbs when you were born to sit at the table of abundance. Stand firm, ask clearly, and never apologize for wanting what is fair, right, and necessary. Would you like me to rewrite this in a slightly sharper, more commanding tone, like a master addressing disciples, or keep it in this empowering, motivational style? Got it. Here's a refined version with 7 powerful keynote asks, each expanded into something deeper and motivational, as if spoken to an audience hungry for strength and clarity. In life, never be afraid to ask. Asking is not weakness. Asking is not dependence. Asking is the language of self-respect. There are 7 things, 7 essentials, that you must demand from the people around you, and even more importantly, from yourself. Without respect, there is no foundation for any relationship. Be it love, friendship, or work, respect is not given because of status, gender, or age. It is earned through character, but it must also be reciprocated. When you ask for respect, you are not begging, you are reminding others that your value cannot be diminished. Truth may sting, but lies poison. Demand honesty, even when it is uncomfortable. With honesty, you know where you stand. Without it, you build your life on sand, and one day it will collapse. The courageous do not fear the truth, they embrace it, because only with truth can you grow stronger. The world is filled with temporary connections and fleeting words, but loyalty is the rare gem that separates the true from the false. Do not confuse convenience with commitment. Loyalty means someone stands by you when the storms come, not just when the sun shines. Anyone can speak sweet words, but effort is proof of care. Ask for consistency in action, not just in promises. If someone values you, they will show it, not once, not occasionally, but repeatedly. Effort reveals priorities. If you don't see it, don't excuse it. Strength does not come from clinging, but from balance. Sometimes you need silence, sometimes you need distance. Ask for space to breathe, to reflect, to grow. Those who truly care will understand that giving space does not weaken bonds, it strengthens them. Being heard is not enough. Being understood is what truly heals. Ask to be listened to without judgment, without haste, without dismissal. Understanding does not mean agreement, but it does mean recognition. It means your feelings, your struggles, your humanity matter, not the shallow imitation, not possession, not control. Ask for love that uplifts rather than restricts. Love that grows with you, not against you. Love that feels like freedom, not a cage. This kind of love is not rare. It is simply rare to demand it. So ask with strength, with clarity, with conviction. For the world gives not what you deserve, but what you demand. Would you like me to shape these into a speech rhythm? Short, impactful sentences, almost like a performance. Or keep it in this expanded, explanatory style. Respect is the cornerstone of every connection we build in life. Without it, no amount of affection, no level of intelligence, no depth of commitment can truly hold together. Respect is the recognition of worth, both in ourselves and in others. It is not about being feared, It is not about controlling anyone, and it is not about titles or positions. True respect is about acknowledging the humanity in another person and refusing to diminish it. When you ask for respect, you are not asking for something extra or optional. You are asking for the bare minimum required to live with dignity. And yet, so many people settle for less. They allow themselves to be spoken to harshly, treated carelessly, or dismissed as if their voice does not matter. They confuse tolerance with patience, and they confuse silence with peace. But understand this: respect cannot survive in silence. It must be asked for, demanded, and reinforced by the way you carry yourself. Respect begins with how you treat yourself. If you allow yourself to be disrespected without raising your voice, you set the tone for how others will treat you. People learn how to approach you by watching what you accept. If you tolerate constant interruptions, insults disguised as jokes, or behavior that belittles you, then you are teaching others that this is the standard you are willing to live with. The first step in asking for respect is showing the world that you will not compromise on your own value. Respect is not loud, but it is powerful. It does not need to shout, but it must be firm. Asking for respect means creating boundaries and protecting them. Boundaries are not walls, they are gates. They allow in what is healthy and keep out what is harmful. When you ask for respect, you are not trying to control others. You are defining how you will allow them to interact with you. And the moment someone repeatedly violates those boundaries, you must have the courage to walk away. Because respect that is constantly broken is not respect at all, it is manipulation. It is important to remember that respect is not demanded by force, it is cultivated by character. You cannot scream at someone to respect you while living in a way that dishonors yourself and others. People may fear you, but fear and respect are not the same. Fear weakens connections, while respect strengthens them. Fear disappears when you are absent, but respect lingers even when you are not in the room. That is the difference between forcing people to bow and inspiring them to rise. When you ask for respect, you remind others that you are not here to be trampled on. You are not here to be dismissed. You are not here to be an option. You are here with value, with dignity, and with the right to be seen and heard as an equal. Respect is not negotiable. It is not something you earn only after proving yourself again and again. It is the foundation of every human interaction. And if you are ever in a place where respect is absent, it is not you who does not belong. It is the disrespect that must be removed. Honesty is the lifeblood of every strong connection, the thread that holds together trust, loyalty, and respect. Without honesty, nothing lasting can be built. And words may be sweet, promises may sound comforting, but if they are empty, they are nothing more than illusions. When you ask for honesty, you are not asking for perfection, nor are you asking for someone to always say what pleases you. You are asking for truth, raw and unpolished, because even if truth stings in the moment, it liberates in the long run. Lies, on the other hand, do not simply hurt once. They continue to poison every interaction that follows. Many people shy away from asking for honesty because they fear what it might reveal. They are afraid of hearing what they don't want to face, whether it is about themselves, about a relationship, or about a situation they would rather keep hidden. But understand, this ignorance is not protection. It is vulnerability. Pretending not to see the truth only delays the inevitable collapse. A life built on lies is like a house on sand. It may look strong for a while, but the moment pressure comes, it will sink. Honesty is not only something you must demand from others, it is something you must cultivate within yourself. If you are dishonest with yourself, if you deny your own needs, if you pretend you are fine when you are breaking inside, then no amount of truth from others will matter. Asking for honesty begins with having the courage to face yourself. It means admitting your weaknesses, acknowledging your mistakes, and being brave enough to say, "This is who I am." That kind of self-honesty becomes a mirror, showing others that they, too, must meet you with the same level of truth. There will be those who will try to justify dishonesty as protection. They will say, "I didn't tell you because I didn't want to hurt you." But understand this: lies hurt more than truth ever will, because lies steal not only your trust, but also your time, your energy, and your ability to choose. When you are lied to, your right to make informed decisions is taken away. That is not protection, that is control. Asking for honesty is asking for the freedom to decide with clarity, even when the clarity is painful. And remember, honesty is not brutality. It is not using truth as a weapon to wound, but using it as a light to guide. Asking for honesty does not mean you invite cruelty. It means you ask for sincerity. It means you value the courage it takes for someone to be real with you, even when it is difficult. Honesty is a sign of respect, because it shows that someone values you enough to trust you with the truth. When you ask for honesty, you set a standard for every relationship in your life. You declare that you would rather face a painful truth than live in a beautiful lie. You affirm that your life is too valuable to waste on illusions. And most importantly, you remind yourself and others that truth is not something to fear. It is the only ground strong enough to stand on. Loyalty is one of the rarest treasures in human relationships. It is easy to find people who will walk with you when the path is smooth, but when storms rise, the true test begins. Loyalty is not about convenience, and it is not about being present only when things are easy. Loyalty is the quiet, unwavering commitment that says, I am with you, not because it is simple, but because it is right. When you ask for loyalty, you are not asking for blind obedience or submission. You are asking for consistency in presence, in action, and in heart. In a world where everything seems temporary, where promises are broken as easily as they are made, loyalty becomes a rare form of strength. It is the bond that makes you feel safe enough to trust, to be vulnerable, to open yourself fully. Without loyalty, relationships collapse under pressure. Words may sound convincing, but only loyalty proves if they carry weight. Someone may tell you they care, they may tell you they value you, but if they vanish when life gets difficult, then their words were never more than echoes. Loyalty is not tested in times of comfort. It is revealed in times of struggle. Anyone can stand beside you in celebration, but loyalty is the hand that does not let go when the world turns against you. It is the friend who defends you when you are not there to defend yourself. It is the partner who does not walk away when problems appear, but instead chooses to fight through them with you. Loyalty cannot be bought, and it cannot be faked for long. It is proven in actions, not speeches. When you ask for loyalty, you must also be willing to give it. Loyalty is not a one-way street, it is mutual. If you demand it without offering it, you are seeking control, not connection. To be loyal means to honor your word, to stand by the people you claim to love, and to remain steady when circumstances tempt you to drift. That does not mean blind devotion in the face of betrayal or harm. True loyalty has boundaries. It does not chain you to abuse. It simply means that when you give your commitment, you do not abandon it at the first sign of challenge. Loyalty is also about presence in the unseen moments. It is easy to appear loyal when the world is watching, but real loyalty happens in silence, when no one else is there to applaud it. It is the choice to speak truthfully about someone when they are absent. It is the decision to guard their name, their dignity, and their trust even when they will never know what you did. Loyalty is not performed, it is lived. When you ask for loyalty, you are protecting the integrity of your life. You are choosing to surround yourself with people who will not vanish when you need them most. You are choosing to invest your energy in bonds that are not fragile, but unbreakable. And in turn, you are choosing to be that person for others. Loyalty is not about quantity, it is about depth. Even if only a few stand with you, if they are loyal, they are worth more than a crowd of the unfaithful. Effort is the true currency of care. Words may inspire, gifts may impress, but effort is what proves intention. When someone makes the choice to invest their time, their energy, and their focus into you, that is when you know you matter. Asking for effort is not asking for perfection. It is not demanding constant grand gestures. It is about seeking consistency, the steady rhythm of actions that match words. Because anyone can promise, but not everyone can follow through. Too often, people settle for excuses in place of effort. They convince themselves that good intentions are enough. They accept empty promises, thinking that maybe one day they will turn into action. But effort is visible. It cannot be hidden. If someone values you, they will show it. They will find a way, even when life is busy, even when circumstances are hard, because effort is not about convenience. It is about priority. What people put effort into reveals what truly matters to them. Effort is the foundation of trust. Without it, trust weakens and relationships fracture. Think of it this way: if someone constantly tells you that they care, but fails to back it up with actions, doubt will naturally grow. But when words and actions align, trust becomes unshakable. Asking for effort is asking for that alignment, for people to live in such a way that their behavior is a reflection of their promises. Effort is also about presence, not just physical presence, but emotional presence. A person may be in the same room with you, but absent in spirit. True effort means showing up fully, listening, engaging, supporting, and contributing to the growth of the relationship. It is in the small acts: a message when you are struggling, a helping hand when you are overwhelmed, a moment of attention when you feel invisible. These simple efforts mean more than elaborate words spoken without consistency. When you ask for effort, you must also examine the effort you give. It cannot be one-sided. Effort is the bridge between two people, and it requires both sides to contribute. If you give endlessly without receiving in return, imbalance will eventually drain you. But if both give with sincerity, even small actions become powerful. A single step taken with genuine effort can carry more weight than 1,000 empty declarations. The truth is, effort reveals priorities more clearly than anything else. People make time for what matters. People show up for who they value. And when effort is absent, it speaks louder than any excuse ever could. That is why it is essential to ask for it, to expect it, and to refuse to live in a space where effort is always promised but never delivered. Effort is love in motion. Effort is respect in practice. Effort is loyalty proven over time. When you demand effort, you are not asking for too much. You are simply asking for evidence that words are real. Because without effort, promises are just noise. But with it, even the simplest act becomes a declaration. You matter. I care. I am here. Space is not distance, and it is not abandonment. Space is the room we all need to breathe, to reflect, and to grow. Too often, people mistake asking for space as a sign of rejection, as if stepping back means stepping away. But the truth is, without space, even the strongest connections suffocate. Just as fire needs air to burn, relationships need room to expand. Asking for space is not selfish. It is wise. It is the understanding that closeness without balance becomes dependency, and dependency is not love. When you ask for space, you are asking for the freedom to remain whole within a connection. You are saying, I want to give you my best, but to do that, I must also care for myself. Far too many people lose themselves in others. They forget their own needs, their passions, their individuality. They think that constant closeness is proof of devotion, when in reality, it is proof of fear. Fear of losing someone makes people cling. But love is not about clinging. It is about trusting that even with space, the bond remains. Space allows clarity. In silence, we hear our own thoughts. In solitude, we discover who we are outside of the noise of others. If you never have time to be alone, you risk losing the sense of your own identity. Relationships built without space eventually collapse under the weight of unmet personal needs. Asking for space is a way of preserving the relationship, not destroying it. It gives both people the chance to return to each other not out of habit, but out of choice. Those who resist giving space often do so because they fear it means disconnection. But space is not disconnection, it is respect. It is the recognition that both individuals have lives, responsibilities, and inner worlds that matter. Asking for space teaches others that love does not mean possession. Love that does not allow room to breathe is not love, it is control. And control never creates strength, it creates resentment. When you ask for space, you also learn patience. You learn that absence does not have to equal loss, and distance does not have to equal disinterest. Instead, it creates longing, and longing rekindles appreciation. Just as a garden needs time to grow, relationships need pauses to mature. Without pauses, we take each other for granted. With space, we learn to value presence more deeply. It is important to remember that asking for space should never come with guilt. There is nothing wrong with needing time alone. There is nothing wrong with saying, I need to recharge. In fact, the greatest strength comes from the courage to admit when you need to step back. Because when you return stronger, clearer, and more capable of giving. Asking for space is not about pulling away. It is about making sure that when you come together, you do so as your fullest self. It is about ensuring that love grows from freedom, not fear. And it is about protecting the sacred balance between togetherness and individuality, which is the only way any connection can truly thrive.